And that freaks people out. You tell people, oh, it's over in Lothian. They're going, man, I'm not driving all the way, right over there by Wason's Corner. Oh, okay. So, it's funny how town names get a locale recognition.
Yeah, it certainly is interesting, and there's a lot of like in New York, it's a lot of Dutch history. Jonas Bronk was from the Netherlands, I believe, or at least I don't know. When did they put the dikes in, Clark? Do you know?
Year?
They refer to them nowadays, Phil, as women in comfortable shoes.
That was like in the 17-somethings.
Well, anyway, I'm pretty sure Jonas Bronk was from Holland. That's before the riots. Well, wait till now. They got a brand new conservative prime minister, whatever the hell they call him.
Oh, yes. It's spelled Geert Wilders, or it's pronounced Geert Wilders. But yes, he's referred to as the Dutch Donald Trump. Imagine that.
He's been around for a while and just slowly gaining popularity as people come around to the fact that they don't recognize their own country anymore.
Well, yeah. See, so that started because his claim to fame actually was being very anti-Islam. Imagine that. But I've got to say this, the neighborhood where my grandparents were, like where I used to go visit, when I was growing up and stuff like that, was beautiful, beautiful. It was, trees and clean and just like everything was just, just so nice, clean European kind of a neighborhood there. And then I went back to visit it, I guess like 20 years ago for the first time since I've been back since I was a kid. And it was a shithole. All the signs were in Arabic. There was garbage everywhere. There were burned out buildings. What was the bakery was like a porn shop. Like, whoa! F happened here. Yeah, so apparently that's been a big deal. Lots of colonizers as opposed to immigrants, and he was very much against that. So I think they finally got his message.
Immigrators.
So, what? Well, an Arabic adult store. What would it? Would it be camel toe, camelback?
An Arabic.
I went there and I was horrified by what I saw. I mean, it's just like, what the hell happened here?
Who knows?
Well, hey, listen. Back in the 1910s and 20s, Harlem was that was the upscale neighborhood. And then look in the 60s.
Well, that's the same with a lot of neighborhoods in Philadelphia. I mean, like Kensington was a very predominantly Caucasian neighborhood in the 70s and 60s. Same with a lot of the neighborhoods, and they've just gotten a lot worse. They're not, there's a lot of minorities, in these neighborhoods, and unfortunately they've just gotten so much worse. There's still really beautiful homes in a lot of these neighborhoods, but, architecturally, but they're not worth anything anymore.
I think it's like dropping a rock in the middle of a pond and it just ripples out. I went to school closer to the city limits of Washington, D.C., and you didn't hang out in that neighborhood very long. You turn a street corner and you're on the wrong side of the fence. And in the 50s and 60s, that was predominantly middle-class America with working-class family, and they had a decent wage, and they raised families, and, you know, post-war salt box houses, you know, everybody had the same 200 by 200 plot and same layout house for rows and rows and rows, and I happened in a neighborhood, and then it kind of deteriorated. And I think what happens is the working class can't afford the real estate there, so they get squeezed out. And then so the government steps in and says, well, we're gonna build affordable housing, we're gonna do subsidies, and it just spirals out of control. And then it turns into a hole. And government and law enforcement gets tired of it, and somebody comes in and buys a bunch of it up, and they wipe it out and revitalize it, and like the world's greatest marketing on a shampoo. It tells you lather, rinse, and repeat. It never tells you to stop.
There'll be 3 MMR.
And you know how you stop them from hanging in the front? You hang one in the back.
Well, I don't know how much ethnic diversity. Well, I guess maybe New York, Phil probably sees a lot of it. I don't know if you guys are wherever you are, Bob. But being here in the nation's capital, there's a lot. Latin America, the fellow that I had last in the store Wednesday night was from Nigeria, and Pakistan, Lebanon, England, Netherlands. There's a lot of diversity, and the thing that just shocks me the most about all of them is they have a better understanding and a larger appreciation for the United States and its Constitution and laws and the opportunities they have than many of the people that are born right here in the States. That's just sad.
Well, the exception is the Muslim community in Michigan, because they're all up in arms now. I'm sorry, not Muslim. What the hell? That are now like igniting everything over this Israeli-Hamas conflict, and it's like, wait a minute, what? You know, where do all these Palestinian flags come from all of a sudden? That's just remarkable. And by the way, aren't you happy to be here? I thought you were all supposed to be like Americans now, but now all of a sudden you're all about Palestine. What's up with that?
Well, I think that's the biggest problem, is appreciation. When somebody earns their citizenship, and you see them interviewed, and you see a lot of people. Like occasionally, they put that on TV when there's a bunch of American citizens sworn in, and they're all happy to tell you they are so happy to be a citizen and they're proud of this country. But there's so many now that have come in here illegally, and they don't give a rat's ass about the United States. They're just like, give me what I can get. And that's where the problem is, and it's not a racial thing at all. It's lack of appreciation because you're getting something that you haven't worked for.
I just got the dinner call, guys, but I'll part with this. The thing that the fellow from Nigeria said to us Wednesday night at the shop was that here in America, the government supports you. That they've got your back. He kept saying the government here sees you. We see you. We know you're here. We know. We recognize you. He says when he was in Nigeria, the government didn't give a flying leap about him. You either made it or you didn't. Here he kept saying the government sees you. I see you, and you have the support of the government. Anyways, I'm gonna run off to the dinner table, carry on, and I shall return. But I'm gonna go sit down with Lisa. Have a good one, KB3 WFE.
See you, Brian. Enjoy your dinner. W2 future.
Later, Brian. W3MMR. Happy Thanksgiving.
A fine business evening.
Yeah, man. W3MMR.
Because it's good times all around.
Such is the pressing topic of the fall of Western society.
Well, you put your finger on it. Anytime you get something for free, you've got nothing invested in it, and then you don't treat it right. Look at all the housing experiments that have gone bust. You know, it's like back in the 60s, the 50s and 60s, they were building all those apartment buildings and stuff. It's like, oh, this is great. It's going to be low-income housing. And they all turned into, hellholes. And they had a couple of apartment buildings in the next town over from here. Was it like 20 years ago? They ended up tearing them all down, and they said, well, that experiment was a disaster because they all turned into like drug dens.
Well, hey, did you see, you heard the new president of Argentina? Oh, that guy's a pistol.
Yeah, he is he's the Geert Wilders of Argentina. It seems like this whole pendulum slam to the right is starting to take effect around the world, which is nice.
Yeah, I hope it has some staying power. And I wish Trump would be as articulate, instead of just sticking with the MAGA. They need to retire MAGA. Just come up with something else. It's a dirty word now, Just, I don't know, come up with another slogan. And maybe explain why, it's important to do certain things. He never does that. But I watched Tucker Carlson's interview with this Melini, or whatever his name is, down in Argentina. I know he's a little eccentric for sure, but I really like the things that he said.
Yeah, man. Yeah, sorry, fellas. Just checking in on emails, doing a bunch of stuff. Had a nice Thanksgiving meal that we brought down to our daughter's house in Jersey. Drove back this evening before it got really dark out. I freaking hate driving at night with these new cars with these LED bulbs. Oh my god, it's freaking killing me. But anyway, sucks to get old. What can you do? Whiskey 2 Echo November Yankee.
Well, it doesn't have nothing to do with age, dude. I'm the same way. I drive down back roads on my way home, and it's so dark going down these roads, but then these cars come out of nowhere, and these going up and down hills. So these projector style headlights are literally projecting directly into your eyeballs, and they are extremely bright. Low beams are what high beams used to be.
Oh, I know. And the other thing is the spectral density of the LED bulbs is all high end. It's all cutting blue and stuff. It's not really natural light, and it's also not like the old incandescent. Like the what was it, the 6014 lights. Those 8-inch round bulbs that I used to put in my 1978 Chevy Nova. They're not like that anymore. Where you had an incandescent filament. Then you had a reflector, and there was a certain zone, a certain pattern that it gave off. Where these LED bulbs, they're 30 degrees out, and they just go wow.
It's all good points.
Okay, let's say,
You're coming in good, Charlie.
Yeah, but I'm skipping right over the top of a lot of the other guys.
Yeah, you're plenty strong down here. I got a good copy on you. No issue at all. Have you fixed your Ranger yet?
No, I haven't started on it yet.
What's that? You still on the FT101, right?
Yep, I'm FT101. As Clark would call it, the splash box.
It doesn't sound bad, man. Doesn't sound bad at the moment, for sure. But yeah, I bet it can get pretty wide. Nothing wrong with that.
Actually, it's quite narrow, but it's got a lot of audio.
Yeah, it does have a lot of audio, and it's cutting, and it gets the chart. Are you running just rig power or an amplifier?
Now, rig power would be about 10 watts. I'm running 100 watts.
Okay, I thought you were. I didn't think you were just running rig power. What'd you do for Turkey Day, Charlie?
Well, about 1 o'clock this afternoon, we had turkey, mashed potatoes, sweet potatoes, string bean casserole, the gravy, and cranberry sauce, and those delicious olives that the Italians have, and yeah, we had a nice lunch.
Oh, nice. That's pretty cool. Yeah, my mom and I went to the diner. Went to the Springfield Diner. We were going to go to the Olympic Diner, but it was closed. The Olympic Diner is like a little hole-in-the-wall diner. It's great food, really cheap too. But we went to the Springfield Diner because it was the only place open. And I had what I have. I had cream of turkey soup, and a cup of cream of turkey soup, and a short stack of French toast. And my mom had French onion soup. So and the place was packed too. I was surprised how many people were there. You know, not having a regular Thanksgiving dinner.
Well, you know what it is. There are people don't want to do the big meal at home, and there aren't that many places open.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, everything around here is closed. Even like all the fast food joints. Wawa's open, but I mean that's a little market and a gas station. And I think some of the grocery stores were open. But yeah, most places are locked up tight till tomorrow.
Yeah, I believe Applebee's was closed, and a couple of other restaurants my wife looked at was going to be closed, and so she decided to, do the turkey thing.
Yeah, that's good, man. You know, I used to, my family, we all used to get together, but things change, times change, and some people get so like obsessed with it's got to be, we got to have family, got to do this, got tradition, blah 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 blah. To me, especially because I got to work tomorrow, it just feels like another day.
Well, my family kind of is no more. My generation all have their own families, and my own family, we keep it to us. One lives in Texas with her family, so it's just myself, my wife, and my son. So we just do Thanksgiving at home right here.
Yeah, see, nothing wrong with that. W3 MMR.
1X3W.
W2ENY.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
W2 PHL. Charlie, I hear you really well now.
The heat must be wearing on.
See? Told you, Charlie, you're getting out just fine. Breaker.
See, I did like the big chain stores this year. I put up my Christmas decorations outside before Thanksgiving.
I was hanging up Christmas lights today, but I needed some more and I needed a couple more rows of them colored icicle lights, but I went to Home Depot and of course it was closed.
Well, I bought my lights about a month ago, you know, when the store started putting them out, and I was going to do it on Thanksgiving, and then beginning of the week, over the weekend, last weekend, it was nice out, and I looked at the weather for Thanksgiving, and it was going to be cold there, and I said, no, I'm going to go out and do this now.
There you go. Man, yeah, Timmy, I think, is getting more snow. He's already got snow, and his winter's like already started up that way.
Hey, Perry, how well are you hearing Charlie?
Good, about 10 over.
Holy cow, yeah, the band is funky. I barely hear him.
You usually always hear Charlie.
I know, that's what I'm thinking. You know, the rapid QSB and now that weird skip thing, yeah. So we're missing the early hops, I guess.
Charlie called that. That's what he said. He said he was skipping right over you. Let me look here. Bing, bang, boom. Track. I can check to see what the solar flux index is and if there's any solar storms on my radio here. Hold on.
We're supposed to be hit with one tomorrow, I heard.
Right now, solar flux 194. There's an R1 solar storm at the moment.
Well, good thing I've got my RF umbrella out.
Man, I gotta get my tin hat out next.
Can you make me one, Bob?
Man, what is with this swamp bucket tea rash?
They've been in there every night.
It's killing me.
We got some Reynolds wrap. I'm thinking I might make a hat out of that.
Yeah, you have to use the oven grade Reynolds wrap. It's important.
I don't have that. What if I just like fold it over and make it double layer?
All right. I guess that'd be all right. W2 PHL. Just check my settings here. Okay.
Or maybe I'll just go get a pot. Oh, no, I guess that's not a good thing.
Yeah, you look like Jughead.
Yeah.
Good times.
Jug.
Clams on the half shell and roller skates.
What you gotta get, Clark, is one of those hard hats that the utility workers used back in the 60s. It was made out of aluminum. Somehow I get the feeling they figured out that wasn't such a good idea.
Weren't those civil defense helmets that were looked like God? How do you describe it? But yes, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, the utility workers used them back in the 60s. They were made out of aluminum. They were silver in color.
Yeah.
Well, I've got a hard hat, but I guess that's not going to work.
Well, you have antennas mounted to your hard hat, right?
Oh, absolutely. That's what I wear to Hamfest to impress the crowd. When I stroll in there, I got my Batman belt, like 9 HTs all the way around. I've gained weight. And a couple of RG58Us going up to the top of the helmet. I look like a water tower, the round top with some antennas up there.
Looks like a space cadet.
Hey, you know what? Says someone with the untrained eye, but to a fellow ham radio operator, I am the fashion statement. I would be the front cover of Ham Monthly if there was such a magazine.
You put a tower, a little mini tower on top of that hard hat, and then maybe like a small rope ladder, and people could climb you.
People can climb you.
This is a cool receiver, man. A Howard communication receiver. I've never seen this before.
I have one of those. I don't know how to describe it, but it's very Art Deco looking.
It is, man. There's one on eBay I'm looking at right now. Yeah, Howard communication receiver, model 438. It's got a little slide rule dial. It's got the black crinkle finish on the front, and yeah, the Howard logo that's painted on the front of this is, yeah, it's got the whole Art Deco thing going on. This is a cool little receiver.
It's got that black crinkle cut French fry surface on it. Hey, well, now that you've said it on the air, Bob, you watch. Everyone's going to be bidding on it and driving the price up.
Yeah, I bought mine from Wally, JDR. He had dragged it up to Nearfest one year, and it was in really, really, really bad shape, and had like a nest inside of it and everything. But I completely douched it out and rebuilt the innards and touched up the paint a little bit. It looks pretty good. It's a pretty heavy radio, a little steel cabinet.
Yeah, what does this have, like octal tubes in it, I'm assuming? Claremont, New Hampshire.
No, I don't remember. It's been a while.
Yeah, this guy doesn't have any picture of the guts. It's kind of suspect if he's not showing that. It's nice on the outside.
It's one of my shelf radios. I got it working and just put it up on the shelf.
All right, I got to see this thing now. You guys got me curious. It's a Howard what? How would I find it?
Howard 438.
Okay.
Yeah, 1938 Howard 438 base receiver. Yeah, I don't think you'd put this in the Mobile. $300, man. Buy it now. $19 shipping. Wow, it's not bad. I wish there was pictures of the chassis inside, because you know how that goes. It's got a copper chassis in the back. I'm looking at. Oh, and it's a 6C5. Oh, a 6K7, a 6Q7, and a number 41.
It doesn't come up. That's so weird.
I got it right here. Howard Model 438. Looks like it's relatively small. I could be wrong. And the Howard Model 490, I'm looking at one of their, I guess, advertisements from back in the day. One of the world's finest receivers, $149.50. Buy it today.
Oh, for $300 or best offer?
Yeah, I'm looking at the front of this thing. That's not a glass dial on the front. This is like a National knockoff. What was that National receiver? The one with the hot chassis that used either AC or DC. It was like National 45 or 44 or something like that, and it was a plastic like bubble kind of thing that kind of stuck out. This is pretty hot on the front. I'm kind of liking this.
I think I might have the 435. I gotta go upstairs and take a look. They made a few different models.
Oh, look, it's got the reverse dial on it.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, you know what? Look at the, I wonder, does this have a, I guess it does have a tuning cap. Because it looks like, yeah, maybe the dials are non-linear, so I guess it's got a tuning cap in it, not a It's not inductive tuning.
Hey, Clark, you want to hear a good one? The Drake TR4. Every other band, the dial goes in the opposite direction.
Okay, that would make me nuts.
Yeah, this has got band spread and yeah, band range. That's the left knob. You got the that center knob. Focus is on like 7.0, and then I guess the band spread adds onto that. That's kind of cool.
Lucky Libby's is selling it. Gotta love that.
Yeah, you think? I don't think they voted for Trump.
1938 Howard 438 bass receiver, fully functional, and incredibly well maintained. That's really it. As stated before, incredible how well maintained this is. Truly a gem. 0 scratches on the tuner display, and all knobs, including the tuner knob, turn smooth and with ease. There you go. Oh my God, it's in Claremont, New Hampshire. There's an airport right there. I could bid on this and have no shipping charge. That's compelling.
Yeah. Spent $300 in fuel and you save $19.52 on shipping.
Ask Perry. He knows I would do that.
He would do it in a heartbeat. Just for the fun. Just, I'm going to go fly, just for the heck of it. It'd be worth it to him.
I have the 435. So, Bob, if you get it, yours will be better than mine.
Wow, that sounds like a pea contest right there.
Yeah, my receiver is bigger than yours.
They made like a more communication style one. The 437 has an S meter in it, and it's really sharp looking.
Yeah, I didn't see an S meter in here. You know what would be really cool though? There's that one national receiver. What was that? The 110 or the 100 that has the 6E5 or the 6H6, the Magic Eye tube.
The Wandering Eye tube?
No, the Magic Eye tube. I want to say it's 6 Echo 5. 6 Hotel 6, something like that. I want to say 6E5 is the right statement. But anyway, it was called a Magic Eye tube, and it was basically a circular thing. You look at it, and it was basically like you could half it, all right, from top to bottom, and because it was symmetrical, both sides would show voltage. On each side of it. In a lot of the punk and Grundigs, they use the cathedral style one, where it was like a 9-pin mini, and the center was vertical, and it would fan out, as opposed to going circular like the 6E5.
Well, I've got a 1955 Grundig receiver here, which has got a EM34, I think it is, tube. It's the display is at the end, and it's great. It's like a clover leaf. It's 4 quadrants of green display that when there's no signal, it's basically blank. And then as the signal increases, the 4 leaves, like, expand, and so obviously, you know, and when it's full signal, the whole thing is lit up in green. But I paid $90 to get a new one of those tubes, but it was well worth it. And one BCG.
Dude, I have a whole crap load of those here. Are you kidding me? And there was actually 2 models of that made. One resembles like a fluorescent blue. The other was like green. And that's the cathedral one that I'm talking about. And yeah, EM34.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you have a lot of receivers, or you have a lot of those tubes?
Both.
Well, I'd love to buy one from you, Bob.
What, the EM34 or one of the receivers?
No, the EM34.
Yeah, I gotta look. They're in the shed. It's not exactly a shed, but they're in the outdoor storage area behind the house under the kitchen. And yeah, dude, I'm telling you, I have all crap on those. Like, for instance, one of those shelf radios you're talking about is like the eMud T7. What a freaking great receiver that is, man. It's somewhat compact. It's got tubes, and it's got that furry tube for the S meter, let's call it.
I can't believe what I'm hearing. So you have a whole bunch of EM34. Well, all right, so find two of them. Phil wants one, and I do also. I want to get a spare for this receiver, because, I mean, those are unobtainium.
I'm wondering if we're talking about the right one, though, because there's a 2-quadrant one, and then the one that you're looking for, Clark, and the one that I'd love to find, too, for my Grundig, is the 4-quadrant one, the cloverleaf.
That's it. The Grundig that I've got is a 50/50, and it was the 50/50W concert strength, and it originally was this massive console, huge receiver. Well, actually, it was not like something you would have to put it in your living room. Was it like cherry wood hand carved entertainment system, where the radio was in the center on the front. It had two massive speakers on either side, and there was on the top, the left end had a lid that opened up, and it was a turntable, and the right end of it had a lid that opened up, and it was a reel-to-reel tape deck. It was their top of the line entertainment system in 1955. It sold for something like 4,200 Deutschmark, which is more than a car cost at the time.
Hey, and you know what? We're talking about two different kind of tubes here. The EM34, which is equal to a 6 Charlie Delta 7, is essentially the same thing as the Magic Eye tube I was talking about, the 6E5. So I don't exactly view that as a cloverleaf, but it's the round one. And as the signal strength increases, it fills out the roundness. You know, there's like a dot in the center and a vertical line above it, and as your signal level increases, the vertical line broadens out on the left and right, and fills in and yes, that's EM34. It's an octal socket. I'm talking about the 9-pin version of that, which I thought it was that, but I am incorrect, and I'm going to have to look in the other room.
Actually, I'm also wrong about it. It's not the 50/50. It's the 80/40 that I was talking about. Yeah, the 80/40W.
Yeah, I don't know. I've got to look at this. Oh, the EM84 is the one that's a strip. This is so confusing. And they're saying the EM34 is a 2-quadrant, and I replaced it in my Grundig with a single quadrant. It was a Russian tube. I had to change a resistor or two to get that to work. But the original one was, I think it's the EM34.
Where is that guy? There's a guy in Connecticut that comes on here on AM. He used to be a sales guy for Grundig, and he has a ton of information about this stuff.
Oh my God. Please let me know you can think of who it is.
Hold on, I gotta look at my station log, because I'm sure I slammed it with Grundig Guru or something like that in some idiot comment in my spreadsheet.
All right, well, I need to officially say it's not an EM34, because there's some guy selling an EM34 for $12 on eBay. It's like, there's no way that that's it. This is way... Oh, okay, here's another one for $216. Yeah, that's more like it.
Yeah, they have BS titles. They'll put EM34 in the title, but then as you read on, it'll fit in the socket, and you just have to rewire it. But it's not the equivalent. There are no equivalents to the EM34 anymore. Anyway.
All right, you know what? Screw this. Let me go get my notes on this receiver. I've written it all out. I'll know in a moment. N1 BCG.
Yeah, W2EM. I'm just looking in here. There's like UQM. He's in Simsbury. This guy was in like Central Connecticut, and I don't remember his name, but I remember having conversations with the guy. Then there's W1CTC. It's Orange, Connecticut. That wasn't the guy. RWP in Waterbury. Nope, that wasn't the guy. MCT in Waterford. That doesn't ring a bell. I don't know, man. I can't remember. But there was one guy that's been on here. Well, on 3085 anyway. Who used to be like a sales guy for Grundig. Sales and service and repair for those guys, and I'm shocked that I don't have that stuff written down here.
Hey, Phil, I got it figured out. I mean, the Grundig that I'm talking about is sitting right here, and I pulled out the collection of spare tubes that I have for it, and the old one that I removed is not that. It's an EM35. The EM35 is the one that's the 4-quadrant cloverleaf tube.
Oh, very interesting.
Oh, and here it is. One excellent, rare, strong, bright Telefunken AM35 tube, $19.99. Oh my God. What the hell is this? There's another one for $25. What the hell did I spend $90 for?
Yeah, keep reading.
The seller is away until November 27. If you buy this item, expect a delay in shipping.
Right, as he cashes your check in the National Bank of Nigeria.
Probably.
Yeah, so this is also Lactal socket. I'm looking at this. EM35 single range 6U5G is the cross.
Yeah, Bob, that's the one. EM35. You have a box of those. Maybe you'll give Clark and I a good price, and then the rest you can sell and go on vacation.
Yeah, I don't know, man. This isn't the one that I was talking about. The one ones that I have are like 9-pin minis and about 2.5 inches tall.
Now these are not minis. These are like 8-pin Loctal kind, and they're like the size of a 6V6.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Yeah, 6U5G is the cross.
Now here, see, now this is more like it. Used Telefunken EM35 Magic Eye tube, weak, but it still works. Yeah, that's my problem. That's what I've got, but I would love to get a oh, wow, there's only 2 listed. Well, anyway. There you go, Phil. Yep, EM35. Well, wait a minute. So what do you have? What Grundig do you have that takes an EM35? I mean, that's like the top of the line tube for Grundig.
I don't have a Grundig that has those in it. I have the other. All my Grundigs here have the 9-pin minis. The the one with the vertical bar that goes up and it goes left and right and spreads out.
And Phil, how about you? All right, another case of alien abduction.
It's a 4085. I got pulled away for a second.
Check that out, Grundig 4085. Fine business.
I had a tube once.
Yeah?
Yeah, I broke it.
When I was very young, when I was in high school, this old guy contacted the school, and he's the old ham guy, and he goes, yeah, I'm trying to thin out some of my collection of ham radio and electronics gear. Do you have any students who are like interested in radio and electronics or anything like that? And the school knew about me because I wanted to start a radio station there, and I'm like, oh yeah. And so I went over to his house on the Saturday, and he set aside a room, and he said, anything in this room you can have, just for free, just take it. I mean, what the hell, we were high school kids, we didn't have any money. So I went in there, and there was an ICO 730 modulator. I asked him, like, are you really giving this away for free? He's like, oh yeah, you can take it. I'm like, wow. So I put that over in the corner, in Clark's pile of stuff. And then he had 2 cobbled together wooden crates that he made up, which were for vacuum tubes. And they were with the vacuum tubes, like short 7-pin, tall 7-pin, short 9-pin, tall 9-pin, octal, and miscellaneous, a couple of different bins and stuff. And he goes, oh yeah, you can take those, you can have all the tubes that are in it. I'm like, oh my God. I was like, every tube I've ever known in my life, there's like several of them in here. This is amazing. And then I saw this other tube. It was was it an 811 or 813? Maybe it was an 813. It was the largest tube I've ever had up until that point. I'm like, is this available too? He's like, oh yeah, you can have it, no problem, take it. And I was so excited about this because I was into building old transmitters and stuff like that. But the most I ever had was like a 6L6, and this thing was like 3 times larger than a 6L6. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe what I can build with this. But I didn't have any power supply at the time, and when I got one, I was so excited. I put it was during Thanksgiving vacation. How about that? Thanksgiving vacation, 1981. Boy, I was a little snot back then, and just like now. And I remember connecting the 6-volt AC power supply to the filament leads, and all of a sudden the tube filled up with smoke. And I'm looking at it, and the filament glowed red hot, white hot, and then burned out, and the whole inside of the tube filled with smoke. There was a pinhole, and there was the vacuum was gone, and it burned up. And I was hellified. It wasn't BCG.
I was just sitting here thinking that at least the ham radio community would understand women better if there was a cross chart between broadsides and tube numbers.
Brian, this thing was a double D easily.
Oh man, the tube testers, you could see the tube testers, even I think the grocery stores had them. They were everywhere.
Last tube tester that I went to that I didn't actually own myself was at Radio Shack, where it had sort of like a Tudor interior and burnt, I kid you not, burnt orange shag carpeting.
Man, it's got like Brady Bunch written all over it. Anyway, I need another vodka. I'll be back. W2ENY.
That's the Radio Shack, ladies and gentlemen, that this DX160 came from, that I'm listening to you all on right now. That's right. It came home on the back of my 10-speed bike, bungee corded in the original box on its clearance sale, 1981, summer of 1981. My entire summer job collection was poured out from 2 margarine containers on the glass countertop of that Radio Shack, and it was the last DX160 they had. It was the display model that was being sold at a huge discount, and it actually was affordable. And you're all coming through the speaker on it. Cool, huh?
It is pretty cool.
I miss Radio Shack. That was like the coolest store. I'd spend hours in it. I got dragged off to the mall with my mom. That was like where she would dump me while she could go shopping, because she knew I wouldn't leave the damn store.
Hey, Perry, I got a quick detail to that story for you. I think you'll appreciate this. So I went to Radio Shack because I was just, as a kid, I was looking to, just see what they had. Oh, actually, I wanted to pick up what they had, a thing called the surprise box. It was like $2.99. It was whatever. They stuffed it with weird stuff. Like one time I got a cassette deck microphone, and I got a circuit board and a meter, a VU meter, and and a lot of times they just filled it with washers or nuts without the matching screws or something to weigh it down. But anyway, it's like the Tandy Corporation floor sweepings. But that's what I went there to go get. And I had always loved the look of the DX160, but it was like their top-of-the-line communications receiver. I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll never afford that. Just forget it. You look at it, you ooze over it, but you can never afford it. But this one day I went there, and they had it on clearance price for like $90. I'm like, oh my God, I might be able to afford this. And I told the manager, don't sell it, please don't sell it. I'm going to go home, I'm going to get every penny I've got, I'll be right back. And the guy thought it was hysterical. Pedaled home fast, got all my money, it was in 2 margarine containers, pedaled back on my 10-speed bike. And it was like closing time. I'm like, could you stay open for like another 5 minutes? And he's like, yeah, what the hell, if you went through all this trouble. So we emptied out the, like the 10s, the 5s, the quarters, maybe a 20 or 2 on top of the glass counter. We're making like piles of coins and piles of, the different dollars and stuff like that. And he's counting it up, and I'm like, beads of sweat on my forehead. I'm like, oh my God, I hope I have enough money. And it came out like $9 short. It was like I had like $81 or $82, something very short of it. I'm looking at it. I'm like, oh my God. And the guy's looking at me. I was like, I can't even describe how I felt. I'm like, you know what? Someone else is going to buy this. I'm so screwed. And the manager was there, and he looked at me. He was like, you really want this radio, don't you, kid? I'm like, well, yeah, but. And he goes, hold on, I have an idea. And he reached into the drawer. He pulled out a red magic marker, and he picked up the little stand-up sign that was sitting next to the radio that said, clearance price $90. And he took the magic marker and he crossed out the $90, and he wrote in the exact number of dollars and cents that were sitting on the glass counter. And he put it back down, and he goes, wait here, I got the manual and the box in back. Oh my God. Seriously, can you imagine that experience? And yes, that radio is this radio that came home with me on the back of that bike that day. And 1 BCG.
That's awesome. That's an awesome story. Yeah, I bet you're pretty excited. That kind of reminds me, see, when I was a kid, I was big into RC cars. and racing RC cars and hobby level stuff, man. Stuff that was like I could never afford at the age of 13, you know, like begging dad to like, come on, man, buy this for me, you know, trying to save up my allowance. And I used to hang out at like different hobby shops, and one that my friend owned and stuff like that. I can only imagine. I mean, that would be like my dream if he was like, you know, I saved up all my money and like there was this car that I wanted and I didn't have enough, but he was like, here, you can take it. That's a really cool story, man. And God, well, obviously, well, I think I told you I have a DX200. That was actually the first receiver I used when I got my DX100 on the air, before I had any of the other boat anchors that I have now. My dad gave me the DX200 years ago before I got my ticket so I could shortwave listen. And I just had a piece of wire sticking out of the back of it right into the SO239 that he had wired up to the back. So cool stuff. W3 MMR.
The Howard receiver.
The Howard.
The Howard Beach receiver, did you buy it yet?
No, not yet.
Yeah, Bob, I was thinking about what you were saying, the guy in Connecticut. I definitely remember someone talking about Grundigs all the time. I can't remember who it was. W2PHR.
Yeah, I don't have his call sign, but there was a guy out here, and I'm telling you, he worked for Grundig, and I think he did stuff with like their service department or something. Maybe he was in sales, I forget, but I can remember deep conversations with this guy one afternoon.
There's no way I've ever talked to this guy, because if I did and I knew what he did, I would have written down everything.
Yeah, this is going back a ways. W2PHR. Probably like 20 years.
No, I'm talking like maybe 6 months ago this guy was on here.
Oh, well then there you go.
At one point, I had 5 Grundigs. I was so proud of that, my Grundig collection. It's like, you know, and they were all the big tube ones, you know, with the big cabinets and stuff like that, like the 5 coaxial speakers inside. You could turn the electrostatic speakers on and off. Remember that? Yeah, Grundig used. They had like regular speakers, and then embedded within it, in the center, in front of the center of the cone, they had electrostatic elements that ran off of like, you know, 90 volts or something like that.
Yeah, the electrostatic ones were the ones with it was like aluminum foil and like mica or some crap, and those are in the sides of all the consoles. I have 3 consoles upstairs in my front porch. Okay, one of them is the slide. The top doesn't open because the TV is on it, but it's got the slide cabinets on the on the right hand side is the phonograph, on the left hand side is the tuner. The next model over is the one with the flip out front. You know, where it's got the record player in the top, with the top that opens, and then it's got the flip out front console with the gigantic slide rule dial on it. And that is the receiver I used to listen to Yankee games and World Series games on, because I couldn't stand Joe Buck that much that I would put the TV on mute and I would listen to the game on that tube radio next to the TV. And I have other Grundig consoles downstairs here. I have probably 10 of the Ballet. What is that? 60005, if I remember right. They made them in different models. One was the brownish Bakelite top. They made one in white. They made one in like a wood tone, like a veneer that was varnished. I have a bunch of those, and I'll tell you right now, man. that radio, a little tabletop thing, and the Ballet, I think it's BALLET, or maybe 1L, I forget. But anyway, I have a bunch of those here, and the thing is maybe 10 inches across by maybe 12 inches across by maybe 9 inches high and about 4 inches deep. And that has got the most radio packed into that small space on any radio I've ever owned.
Well, this Grundig 8040 that I've got, just the receiver part, not the turntable or the reel-to-reel, the glass panel on the front is about 1.5 feet wide. And the dial itself is over 1 foot wide, like where the tuning numbers are. And true to Grundig, it's like the AM broadcast band. You think they could fit the broadcast band in within like 14 inches wide of tuning space? Oh no, they had to divide it into MW1 and MW2. Holy cow, it's like you take the tuning knob and it takes several spins to go from station to station. It's amazing. And the treble control isn't some like cheap, potentiometer and capacitor combination. Oh no, how do they change the treble on AM and shortwave? The IF cans, all the IF containers, the aluminum containers with the IF coils in them, have the slugs that go in the center of the IF coils move up and down, and they're all interconnected using this complex like pulley system. So when you literally change the treble control on it, you can watch the slugs in all the IF cans move up and down. It literally changes the bandwidth of the IF section to increase and decrease the highs. It's amazing. Schumann engineering. And one BCG.
Yeah, I've got the 960, I think, up at the other house. It's one of the older tabletops, and it's got the electrostatic speakers on the side, and freaking sounds like, when you listen to classical music, sorry, I'm listening to myself. When you listen to classical music, it sounds like the violinist is inside the box.
Right.
Yeah, you got the 8040. I'm looking at that online right now. The other one that I have upstairs in the front porch is I'm gonna say it's like 560. You know what? Let me just look at it. It was the Zauber Klang. This thing was freaking big, man. Nothing comes up on eBay. But anyway, yeah, the Zauber Klang. That's the big one that I have in the big tabletop model that I have upstairs. And the other thing that these guys had, and you know what? I also had a this is a G90. This is a Grundig G90, and it had the let's call it the slide roll estimator reading. And this is a phonograph. I bought this in Connecticut. Some lady bought it, and it was in a storage facility in Ridgefield, Connecticut, that freaking rich community over there. I went over there, and this was a G90 tabletop record player in the front, and man, this thing sang fantastic. And anyway, it had the famous resistor burnout problem when the cathode capacitor in the final or any other stage crapped out and shorted. All the high voltage went through this resistor that was kind of stuck out in the middle of nowhere because the Grundig engineers knew that it would get hot and burn out when the capacitor shorted. And yeah, it was like a 2K I forget 8 or 10 watt wire wound resistor, and yeah, change out the cathode caps, and it's a done deal. I got a bunch of freaking Grundigs here. Are you kidding me? I bet I have 30 of them here in my house, all over the place, and they're taking up space, and I don't use them. But anyway, yeah, the G90 was pretty cool, and I forget. I think I paid $100 or $125 cash when I picked it up, and man, those were happy days.
I'm going to get out of here, guys. Have a great evening. Happy Thanksgiving again. That's like 3 times. 7-3 for now. Have fun with the Grundig talk. W2PHL.
Yeah, I'm going to...
Yeah, Phil, have a great evening.
Yeah, you literally took the words out of my mouth, Phil. I'm going to get out of here. My tooth is starting to roar at the moment, so make an appointment. Call tomorrow, make an appointment, so wish me luck. We'll catch you guys later. I really hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving today, and obviously wish the best for the holiday season coming up. So I'll look for you guys tomorrow, hopefully. 7-3, guys. Have a great evening. W3, I'm in Mark. Great signals all the way around.
Wow, everyone's name who starts with a P is heading out of Dodge. All right, Perry, have a great evening. 7-3 from N1BCG.
See you, Perry. See you, Phil. KB3WFV.
Yeah, Brian down there. I should have looked you up, man. I went down there. Went down your neck of the woods about a month ago. About a month ago, we spent 4 nights on at the Hilton Garden Inn there on Kent Island, and hung out and did all kinds of crazy crabbiness down that whole area down there. I should have looked you up. I should have gave you a phone call. My bad. Anyway, Whiskey 2 Echo, November, Yankee.